Hi, I'm Ashley and welcome to Tip Ticks, where I share some of the best tips and tricks that I've learned over my career as a PowerPoint presentation designer. Today, we're going to be breaking the boundaries of bullet points, many people's seemingly favorite form of text formatting within their slide decks. Let's get into it. We're going to start with a fresh blank slide with a standard title and content layout. PowerPoint has default bullet styles built into their master templates, where the bullet points get smaller and smaller for up to 5 subsections. When you hit Tab while typing your bullets, it'll turn them into the sub-bullet when using these master templates. This can be useful if the presentation is also a leave behind, so that people can actually go in and read the text afterwards. But for in-person presentation, the small text often just gets left behind and ignored. You can change these bullets in the master theme, but for now we're just going to leave the defaults behind, and we're going to see how to customize these bullets to be most effective. So let's say we have a standard text box with some copy in it we want to be bulleted. I can select the text and go up to the bullets icon in the Home tab. There are several bullet styles you can choose from standard round to square to check marks. You can even customize your own. To do that, click on Bullets and Numbering and a panel pops up. I can select my bullet points and change the color or size, or even pick a custom bullet. Here you have a ton to choose from, including emojis, flags, which can be very useful depending on the content, along with a myriad of other symbols and shapes, some more handy than others. There is also an option to add a picture as a bullet. If you have a custom symbol or branding, you can add it here to give your presentation a little more continuity. For example, I have this little illustrated arrow image that matches my branding. I select it, and there is my custom bullet in all of its glory. Now, say I have 2 additional points that I want under that second bullet. I'll go to the end of the bullet I want them to go under and hit Enter or Return and type my points. Right now, they are the exact same style as the rest, so I'll select them and hit Tab to make them into sub-bullets. Because I'm using custom bullets, these sub-bullets look identical to my main ones, but I want them to look a little bit different. I'm liking the look of those main bullets and sub-bullets, but the whole thing is looking a little bit chunky and not the easiest to read. So let's work on some spacing. To select the panel with line spacing options, select the text and click on the line spacing icon in the Home tab. Here, you have some options to adjust the spacing between your lines of text, which is also called leading. Fun fact that I learned in graphic design school: it is called leading and not leading because before the use of computers, when they would hand set type, they would actually have little pieces of lead that they'd put in between the lines. They would hand set type. We have come a long way. In this case, we actually don't want to change the leading, but the spacing before or after the bullets. And I'll explain why shortly, but for now, let's click on Line Spacing Options to open up the paragraph panel. Here you have a bunch of information. Alignment is simply how and where your text aligns within a text box. And if you do want more information on that, you can see my previous video linked below. Indentation is the amount of space between the left edge of the text and your text box. So in this case, because we have 2 different levels of bullets, we actually have 2 different numbers there, so it's just showing it as a blank. If we were to type in a number there, our text would line up evenly. And since we don't want that, I will hit Command-Z to undo and go back to our paragraph panel. Special has 2 options: hanging, which basically means the space between the bullet and the text, and first line, which, if we had a large block of multi-line text like this, gives you extra indentation only to the first line of text. I have only used this a handful of times, mostly when I'm doing a fancy first letter or some graphic treatment. But if you do have a good use for this, please let me know in the comments below because I'm curious how other people might use it. For our bullets, we're going to leave that as hanging and focus on the before and after spacing. I want a little more in between my bullet points, so I'm going to click on the up arrow for before. I want a little more, so I'm going to type in 16. There, now I have much more room in between my bullet points. Notice that since I used the before spacing rather than after, the space in between my first bullet and my title text has actually changed as well. Right now, my sub-bullets are the same size and weight as my main bullet points, and I don't want to change the font size of them because they are still important text and I want them to be very readable, but I do want to make it clear that they are secondary to the main bullet and are connected to the one above. I'm going to select my sub-bullets and go back into my paragraph panel and change that 16 points of spacing down to 6. I'm also going to change my indentation spacing to 0.7 to align the bullet with the rest of the text. And finally, I will change hanging to 0.35 to make it just a little bit tighter. Now, our main bullet that has sub-bullets are visually more of a block than the rest of the text. So why do I have to use before and after spacing for my bullet points? Why can't I just use the regular line spacing option? Well, here's why. The text on the left has single line spacing, but has 10 points of before spacing added. On the right, it's that same text, but instead of any added spacing, it's just 1.5 line spacing from the Home tab shortcut. You can see that the first bullet point is actually split across 2 lines. The second line of that single point is the same spacing away from its first line as the rest of the bullets, making it a lot less clear that it's actually a single thought. And the same thing happens to the fourth bullet point as well. We've now talked about several different ways of maximizing the use of bullets within your presentation. So let's review what we've learned. PowerPoint has a variety of standard built-in bullet points whose size and color can be changed. It also has the ability to use custom and specialty bullets like emojis, flags, or even customized uploaded images. By adjusting the indentation of your bullets, you can change the distance between the bullet symbol and the side of the text box, and the symbol and the start of your text. This can especially be helpful when you're using sub-bullets. And lastly, by using before and after spacing within the paragraph panel rather than simply changing the line spacing, you can make your bullets more legible and visually concise. So that's it for breaking the boundaries of bullet points. Check back soon for more PowerPoint tips and tricks. Hit that like and subscribe button, and comment below for what you want to learn next. Have a good one.